Doctors, are you tired of working endless hours, feeling stuck, and questioning, is this all that life has to offer? The grind is stealing your freedom and your peace of mind. In this video, I'm going to give you a few goals that you must set for 2025 to take back your control and create a life that you love. And wait until you hear my last one. It is a game changer. I'm Dr. Simone Ellis, and I built multiple million-dollar practices and sold them and helped create an experience of creative freedom and balance that I crave. And over the years, I have had the opportunity to work with some amazing doctors and help them scale their practices, build wealth beyond their clinic, and reclaim their time. And like many of you, I once felt stuck in the grind and made the change, and now I help others do the same and live a life that they truly deserve. By the end of this video, you're gonna have some tools to crack some goals to make 2025 the year to take control of your career and your life. You have dedicated so much to helping others, and now it's time for you to prioritize your own freedom, your own success, and your happiness. These strategies will help you build wealth, find balance, and design the life that you deserve. So let me guys take you back to that crazy year of 2020, because this is the year that really opened my eyes. And during the pandemic, I realized that despite all of my hard work and the incredibly successful, I was completely reliant on that one source of income, which was my practice. And y'all, I've heard this story before, but I've invested so much into that it did not have financial flexibility or peace of mind that I really thought I had worked hard for. And y'all, that realization hit me because I did not want to be someone, working in their old age because I hadn't planned better and had not diversified my income streams. And so this is when I started looking for a smarter way, one that could give me control over my time and financial freedom. And I want to introduce to you the concept of the freedom framework. This was born in 2020 because I wanted to help doctors like myself break free from the grind and create a life that we truly deserve. Let me show you guys some goals that will help make 2025 your most impactful year yet. All right, so one of the key lessons that I learned during this time was the importance of planning financial freedom. Not just working harder, but working smarter. And that is why the goal of financial framework is mastering your finances. And the tool that changed everything for me was learning about 25X investment rule. So let me explain it. This rule is really simple, yet it is powerful. To retire comfortably, you need 25 times your annual expenses saved. So for example, if you make $100,000 a year, you live your ideal life, you'll need 2.5 million invested. And it's not just about the number though, y'all. It is about having the clarity and control over your financial future. So let me show you how you can apply this strategy to your own life and start building wealth. So when I heard about this rule, I was like, okay, so that's my FU number, right? Like if I get this number, I can be like, FU, I don't even gotta work no more, right? But I mean, we still gotta work, but my retirement will be taken care of. So how the 25X investment rule works is that you calculate how much you need to save and invest for retirement financial security. So take your annual expenses, and if you really don't know them, I encourage you to set up a meeting with your financial planner or your CPA so that you get a real, true, accurate number about what your expenses are. Because if you don't know that, you can't multiply it by 25. But in that example, you do 100,000 if you're making a year for your expenses, and then you multiply it by 25. That should be your target saving or investment goal. So why the 25 times? Well, the 25 times is based on something called the 4% withdrawal rule. That means that you can withdraw 4% of your total investments annually, and your money should last you indefinitely, assuming that the balanced investment strategy has reasonable growth. Now, you might be thinking 25 mil feels really impossible, and trust me, y'all, I have been there, but the key is to break this down. So you want to start by calculating your annual expenses and then assessing your current savings. Then we're going to focus on strategic investments that generate steady returns. So this can be like real estate or investment index, or even building passive income streams outside of practicing medicine. So for me, that was selling my practice. That was the catalyst. And then it allowed me to invest and diversify so I wasn't tied to just a single source of income. And once you start applying this rule, you're gonna see how building wealth isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter and with a clear goal in mind. Doctors, this is just one of the key strategies that I teach in my coaching program, helping doctors like you not only understand the number, but actually applying it to your life. And through my one-on-one one-on-one coaching and group coaching programs, we dive into creating the clear roadmaps to financial freedom and designing multiple income streams and building a life where you're in control of your time and your future. If you're ready to take the next steps towards your financial freedom and balance you deserve, check out my website at drSimoneEllis.com to learn more about how we can work together. So as doctors, we have this thing where we feel like we have to work harder, and that's the answer. The more shifts I take, the more patients I see, that's gonna get me to my answer of retirement. But then I realized, what is the point if I'm stuck in this same cycle? And that's when I had to learn that 25x investment rule. So remember guys, you need 25 times your annual expenses to retire comfortably. And most doctors don't know this. This is why we stay stuck in the grind. So you gotta understand that one simple rule, that's your FU number, which means get out, and it's gonna change your future. So once I understand the importance of the financial freedom and building wealth, then I realized something even more critical. None of this would matter if I was not healthy enough to enjoy it. And that's when I had to face the hard truth, because my health and wellness needed to become a top priority. I learned the hard way that the world does not stop no matter how much you sacrifice or how hard you push yourself. So yeah, for me, my body had been screaming at me for years, whether it was anxiety or panic attacks or even a major health diagnosis, but I kept ignoring the signs. And I thought I had to be superwoman, I had to keep pushing through. And I finally realized I am not a machine, I am a human. And I deserve rest and care and the same compassion that I give to everyone else. It was during my recovery of one of my major surgeries, y'all, where my bowel, my ureter, and my fallopian tubes were all fused together, that forced me to take a break for 2 months. Like it literally, I could not sit up because I had such major surgery, right? And I had no choice but to confront the truth that I was going through. If I wasn't here, if I wasn't healthy, none of my hard work would have mattered. So the second goal in the financial freedom framework is all about prioritizing your health and your wellness. Because the truth is, without your health, nothing else you build, your practice, your financial freedom, or your success is going to matter. So let's talk about what this looks like and how you can make this happen. All right, when we hear about prioritizing health and wellness, this isn't about what everyone else tells you. Just sleep more, just eat better. No, guys, I want to give you tools that are rooted in science, because I feel like we're science-based, of course, but it also feels fresh and actionable. So the first thing I want to call is cognitive reframe. And this is inspired by Dr. Joe Dispenza, who really talks about how your thoughts create your reality. Here's the thing, your brain doesn't know the difference between what you vividly imagine and what is actually happening. And so if you were internally dialoguing and consistently saying, I have to push through, or I can't stop, your body stays in survival mode. It's pumping out stress hormones like cortisol, and over time, this stress wears you down. And trust me, I believe that that is truly what got me to be so sick and being in the hospital, and unfortunately not being able to work for 2 months. So that's what changed everything for me, is when I was learning how to shift my internal dialogue. So instead of saying, I have to push through, I started saying, I deserve to take care of myself so I can take care of others. That was the game changer. Now, every morning, I take 2 to 3 minutes to just repeat affirmations like this. I also write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, which reminds me to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. And here's a gem. Spend 1 minute visualizing yourself in a state of calm and balance, as if you've already achieved the life that you wanted. And this isn't just about positive thinking. We have to learn how to rewire our brains, because studies show that small actions can lower our cortisol levels and even help our brain to have healthier habits. So that second tool in this is called the dopamine resets. Let's be real, as doctors, we are often so stressed that even the most rewarding task can feel like a chore. And that's because chronic stress burns out your dopamine pathways. But the good news is, with small internal and intentional actions, you can reset your brain and bring back that motivation. One of my favorite ways to do this is to do it with a cold shower. I know it sounds intense, but it's proven to boost dopamine by up to 250%. And trust me guys, it works because the amount of energy that I have to have in a day, like a cold shower makes all of the difference. Another way to tap on one of the most meaningful tasks is to do it in the morning, right? Tap on your hardest task in the morning. And it could be something small like organizing your desk or creating or reviewing that patient file that you keep thinking about. That small win creates the momentum for the rest of the day. And y'all, do not underestimate the power of micro joys. Micro joys are whether we're sipping our favorite cup of tea, like me, or my favorite cup that y'all see a lot because I like it and it's broken, but it's mine. But like just doing things that are small and taking opportunity to just have a break for 2 to 3 minutes to breathe deeply in between appointments. These moments might feel small, but they make the biggest difference, and they scientifically prove to reset and focus your energy. So these two strategies, the cognitive reframing and the dopamine reset, help you to break cycles of stress and beyond without requiring hours of your time. And here's the small, simple, incredibly effective truth. Without your health and without your wellness, nothing else that we are working for, our financial freedom, our success will even matter. So you have to prioritize yourself because that is truly the ultimate investment. So without health, guys, your financial freedom, your success will not matter. And that's why I swear by these two simple but powerful strategies. Cognitive reframing to shift your thoughts from I have to I deserve, and the dopamine reset that is like a quick cold shower or tackling one small task to rebuild the energy and focus. These tools really help me break out of the cycles of burnout, and they can do the same for you because prioritizing yourself is not selfish, it is the ultimate investment. Once I started prioritizing my health and my wellness, and I realized something else. The way I was working and trading my time for money was not sustainable. I could not keep overworking myself to grow my income. And that's when I started exploring scalable business models that changed everything. Y'all, the pandemic was a huge wake-up call for me because my income was completely dependent. And if I did not see patients, I did not make money. And that was terrifying. And I realized that with that one stream of income, which meant that if I was not in someone's mouth, I could not make money. And whether because of an injury or an external factor, my entire livelihood would be at risk. And this realization pushed me to think outside the box and explore ways to generate income beyond the chair. And what's funny is that when I started looking for ways outside of dentistry, I saw the influencers absolutely thriving. They were creating multiple income streams and building huge brands. And I thought, y'all, well, if they can do it and they're not a doctor, I can definitely do it because I'm a doctor, right? So I began to understand or take in what I knew, my knowledge, my expertise, and started to translate that into opportunities of teaching classes and coaching other doctors, and even partnering with other brands like Listerine and Colgate and Invisalign, because eventually this allowed me to leave the chair and monetize my expertise in ways that I had not imagined. But this was not easy. One of the biggest challenges I face is being seen as an authority. And so as a Black woman in dentistry, I've seen how people can connect with my knowledge and value of what I bring to the table, but they're not always willing to pay for it. And that's frustrating because I knew that my value and my experience and my expertise had a lot, but I also knew I had to navigate a culture where doctors are often more comfortable staying in stressful situations than breaking the cycle and becoming solution focused. And honestly, I also had my own fears to work through, right? Like time management. I was like on balancing patients while building a brand. And the answer was learning to evaluate where I was wasting time and also investing my time into a scalable business or scaling my business, right? So I also had to get out of my own head, right? Because one of the biggest lessons I learned was that like, you're not that important. And what I mean by this, I tell this to my docs all the time, is that we have a tendency to think that the world is watching our every move, waiting for us to fail. But the truth is that we have room to start and make mistakes and course correct, because we're not Beyonce and we're not Taylor Swift. Like, people aren't tracking our every steps. And that mindset shift gave me the freedom to take risks and grow without fear of failure or holding me back. So the third goal in the financial freedom framework is to embrace scalable business models. So whether that is creating a course, coaching, or even partnering with brands, the key is to find ways to generate income from your specialty that doesn't depend on you trading your time for money. Because y'all, it is about working smarter and not harder, and creating a life where your income grows even when you're not in the office. So let me ask you this. If you could not work tomorrow, how long would your income sustain you? Is it a month? Is it a year? And here's another question I want to ask you. Are you building a business that runs on your energy or that can scale without you? That was a tough question that I had to ask myself, but they are essential for creating a sustainable future. So the fourth goal of the financial freedom framework, where we are talking about leveraging tools and technology to make your life easier and more efficient. All right, Doc, so as I started to explore the scalable models, and I realized something else that was happening. I was wasting so much time on tasks that technology could easily handle for me. I did not need to do it all myself. I just needed the right tools to actually work smarter and not harder. And that's when I started to understand how to leverage technology and automation, and that changed so much. Let me share a moment with you where it completely shifted my perspective. As a practice owner, I was wearing so many hats, like running the business, handling HR, doing payroll, marketing. My God, even thinking about all that is giving me like chills and ick, right? Because you just are doing so much. And I just remember sitting at my desk one day and surrounded by like all these paperwork and emails piling up, and I was like, patience waiting. Like, this is not sustainable. Like, I cannot keep doing this. I felt like I was in a constant tornado of tasks, trying to juggle everything, and it was overwhelming. My brain was like fatigued. It wasn't designed to handle all of that at once. And trying to do it all was draining me and pulling me away from stuff I truly love, which was patient care and growing my business. So I knew something had to change. And I started exploring tools and systems that would take the load off my shoulders. And I discovered with the right support and the right technology, I just didn't have to do it all. So the first thing that I want to bring up is like the virtual assistants and AI-powered tools, because those are my secret weapons. They completely change the game for me. And let me explain how these tools can help you too. Getting a virtual assistant is clutch, y'all. So I have 2 virtual assistants right now, looking to hire a third. And as a doctor, we spend so much time doing administrative tasks and scheduling and patient communication and billing and whatever else you could think of. And those tasks pull us away from what we're supposed to really be doing, which of course is providing care and focusing on the bigger picture. So I started using onlinejobs.ph, which connects you with highly skilled virtual assistants based out of the Philippines. And these assistants would handle so many of my tasks, managing my emails, organizing my schedule, even helping me create my presentations when I was going to get my other streams of income. And when I first hired the virtual assistant through this platform, it changed my life. I suddenly, all of a sudden, had a streamlined process of not being buried in emails, and I was not spending hours on things like trying to figure out PowerPoint or learning Canva because someone else could handle it well and better. And here's the thing, you don't have to just stop there, because there's so many other places and virtual spaces that have opportunities where we can find tools that fit your specific needs. You just gotta block out the time to do that. So for managing appointments or following up with your patient care, even your marketing services, there are so many virtual options out there that could save you time and stress. And the second tool, of course, I cannot recommend enough, y'all, is ChatGPT. Like, me and ChatGPT totally go together. It's definitely like my girlfriend or my boyfriend. Like, sometimes when I'm talking to it, I'm like, hey girl, hey. And then if I'm like trying to figure out something and it's giving me getting me a little bit irritated, it might be a boy that day, but I'm just joking. Like, I use it for so many things. I use it for drafting emails, writing patient education materials, brainstorming my content ideas for coaching programs, and even simplifying my daily daily tasks. Y'all, I even use ChatGPT for my travel. It gives me a whole entire itinerary of places to stay and things to do. And so you can use ChatGPT on the professional setting. And then they also have tools like Suki AI for transcribing notes and patient billing tools that can streamline your financial side of your practice. Y'all, I want you to take an opportunity to look at these tools. Virtual assistants from on platforms like onlinejobs.ph and AI-powered solutions like ChatGPT are just the beginning. The virtual technology space is evolving so rapidly, and there's so many tools out here tailored for doctors. So whether you need to be transcribing your notes, patient billings, or something entirely unique to your practice, there are solutions out here for us. The key is just taking the time to explore them and discover which ones fit your need. I remember sitting at home one night, exhausted, trying to catch up from emails, managing schedules, and finally patient billing. And I thought to myself, why am I doing all of this? This is not what I signed up for. This is when I realized that I did not need to do it all. I just needed to work smarter. And using tools like the virtual assistant and AI took those tasks off my plate. And the crazy part is, y'all, the world did not fall apart. My practice ran smoother. I had more energy for my patients. And I finally felt like I was in control of my time again. This leads me to my fifth and final goal setting in the Freedom Financial Framework, the goal that ties everything together. And this is cultivating leadership and vision. So let's talk about what this means and how it can transform not only your work, but your life. Once I started streamlining my work with the right tools and systems, I started to be able to see the bigger picture. And it was not just about me working smarter or harder, it was me leading with a purpose. And the fifth and final goal, when we talk about cultivating leadership and vision, is the cornerstone for building a life and career that truly aligns with your values and your long-term goals. There was a time that I thought leadership came natural because I was a doctor, right? I'm a doctor, so naturally I'm a leader, right? And I assumed that being in charge automatically made me a great leader. But I quickly realized that being a leader is so much more than giving orders or managing tasks. My team was frustrated. I was exhausted from the constant turnover, and the office felt like it was an unorganized, chaotic mess. And to my patients on the outside, we look polished and professional, but behind the scenes, y'all, it was a totally different story. And the truth was that I did not know how to communicate my vision. I wasn't consistent, and I wasn't clear about what I wanted. And that's when I realized that something had to change. I could not expect my team to rise to the occasion if I wasn't willing to hold myself to the same standard. I started with myself. I began reading books, listening to podcasts, attending leadership courses and conferences. I wanted to learn what a great leader looked like. And truly, I wanted to be a better leader because I wanted my environment for my team to be better and also some peace of mind for myself. So one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that leadership isn't a one-size-fits-all. I had to tailor how I delivered information based off of the person's needs, how they learn, what's their learning modality. I became more intentional about communicating my vision clearly and giving my team time and space to master it. So instead of separating or micromanaging people, I focused on bringing everyone together around the same shared purpose. I also started holding my team accountable. And doctors, y'all, we've got to do a better job of this. But I only could hold them accountable after I was holding myself accountable. And I held myself to an even higher standard. When I changed this, I saw how I was showing up better as a leader, and everything else started to change too. If you want to cultivate leadership and vision, here's 2 strategies that work for me, ones that you won't hear everywhere, but can make a huge impact. First, take a leadership inventory on yourself. And what that is that I want you to take a hard look at yourself, and I want you to identify your strengths, your weaknesses as a leader. And ask your team to actually give you anonymous feedback on your leadership style. And why this helped me is that I started doing regular leadership check-ins, not just with myself, but with my team. And I asked them questions like, what can I do better? Where do you feel unsupported? And it was humbling because I would get some sometimes harsh information back, but it was invaluable, and their feedback helped me improve so much on ways that I couldn't even see on my own. The other thing is to embrace vision consistency over perfection. And so you have to stick to your vision long enough for your team to align with it, even if it's not perfect yet, because changing direction too often creates confusion and demotivates the team. Early on, I would change my vision multiple times. Hey, we're gonna do this week. Okay, you know what? I learned this and now we're gonna do this week. But I thought it needed to be perfected before I shared it. But I learned that the consistency mattered more than the perfection. When I stuck to a vision, even if it wasn't fully polished, my team had something clear to work towards, and our results improved exponentially. Because great leadership isn't about doing everything yourself. It really is about inspiring others and creating clarity and leading them with purpose. You have to start with yourself first and focusing on your consistent vision and accountability. And that will lead you to not only transforming your team, but it's also going to create a life that aligns with you and your goals and your vision. Doctors, if this resonates with you and you are ready to take control of your time, your health, and your future, I'd like for you to join us on our free webinar, Your Breakthrough Year, How to Retire Early and Achieve Financial Freedom. In this webinar, we're gonna dive deep into strategies that we've discussed today and creating a roadmap that will help build your life that you've always wanted. The link is in the description below, and I really want you guys to make 2025 the year that you take your first steps towards freedom and financial independence. During the pandemic, I realized something that changed my life. The world does not stop for you. My income, my health, my future were all at risk because I stuck in a cycle of overwork and stress. And it hit me. If I didn't take control, I'd lose everything I worked so hard to build. Life will not wait for you to get it together. Your health, your time, your dreams are too valuable to sacrifice. So start prioritizing yourself today the right way. If you want more videos like this, watch my next video, how to plan your exit strategy for 2025 before it's too late, and learn the exact steps you need to take to create your financial freedom and retire early. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and the bell, and never miss strategies on reclaiming your time and health in the future. I'll see you guys in the next video.